The Shining is a horror novel by Stephen King, published in 1977. The story follows Jack Torrance, an aspiring writer and recovering alcoholic, who takes a job as the winter caretaker at the remote Overlook Hotel in Colorado with his wife, Wendy, and their young son, Danny. As the family settles into the hotel, it becomes clear that something is not quite right. Danny, who has a psychic ability called The Shining, begins to see disturbing visions of the hotel's dark history, including a tragic incident that occurred years before. Meanwhile, Jack's mental health begins to deteriorate, as he becomes increasingly isolated and paranoid, and the hotel's malevolent spirits begin to take hold. As the winter storms set in and the family becomes more and more isolated, the situation at the Overlook Hotel becomes increasingly dangerous. Jack, under the influence of the hotel's evil forces, turns on his family and attempts to kill them, while Danny must use his psychic abilities to try to save them. The novel is a study of the effects of isolation, addiction, and madness, with King expertly building suspense and tension throughout the story. The characters are richly drawn and sympathetic, with Danny's struggles with his psychic powers and his relationship with his parents at the center of the narrative. The Overlook Hotel itself becomes a character in its own right, with its dark history and malevolent presence permeating the entire novel. The Shining has become a classic of horror literature and has been adapted into several successful adaptations, including a film directed by Stanley Kubrick in 1980, starring Jack Nicholson as Jack Torrance.